Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Obese Clay. I'm Harley. Uh, the only thing I'm being consistent about is not putting out videos on a consistent day. Sorry about that. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and that threw everything off. Also, I did my monthly weigh-in a week early, and I only lost 5 pounds. I was pretty disappointed with that, to say the least. I'm down to 378 now, and I was really hoping to be down at least 10 more pounds, really. But I got to thinking about it, and I kind of wonder if I've gained any muscle mass at all, it's not much. I can't imagine it compensated for what, I don't know, for 8 pounds. I mean, honestly, I can't say that, but I mean, maybe so. I don't know. I mean, I guess technically I wouldn't have to see the muscle for it to amount to 8 pounds. I mean, I have been working out, and it does. I'm sure it builds some muscle trying to move around 378 pounds all the time. I mean, I had lost in the 2 previous months. I'd lost 30. Oh God, now I'm putting it on the spot. Excuse me, 37 pounds. I was really hoping to at least have lost 12. Like I said, I was pretty disappointed. Last month, it was our birthday month. I'm not going to sit here and say I did a real good job. I mean, about eating. I mean, granted, I didn't go crazy. I was still watching my blood sugar, but it was, so I wasn't just packing in, candy and sweets and, whatnot. That just wasn't what I was doing. So I can't imagine. I imagine some days I may have been over, calorie intake quite a bit. I can't imagine it was over to make me gain. I don't know. All I know is that after seeing that, I really wanted to redouble my efforts because I don't have. It may have been really what is the word I'm looking for? Not maybe I shouldn't have been expecting to be down 280 pounds to 280 pounds where I could ride my bike in August. Maybe that was an unrealistic goal. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's not. Okay. It probably is because I'm gonna have. In order now to be able to ride that bike in August, I'm going to have to lose 90 pounds. Yeah. I mean, to safely, not, well, that's not necessarily true. At least to 78 pounds. I mean, I rode my bicycle when I was 300. I went up and down between 280 and 320 all the time. But yeah, still, maybe it's realistic, maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm kind of shooting for it. I'm trying to get I'm shooting to be as close as possible to the 300-pound mark. That's I guess really that should have been my goal all along. Like I said, I'm kind of disappointed, but at the same time, what could I expect? No matter what, I'm still better than I was last year. So, to hell with it. Today's a new day. We're just going to have to move forward. That's the way I see it. My doctor's appointment went, I don't know, it was kind of a hit or miss day, honestly. My blood pressure was, wow. Let me tell you, folks, it was the absolute best. I have seen it in years. It was normal. Most of the time, what it was normal for me would have sent anybody else running for help. You know, I was running like 170 over 100. That was normal. You know, the doctor knew it. I knew it. When I would get discharged from the hospital, that's what it was reading. But yesterday, through all of through taking care of myself, dieting, exercising, I was 128 over 80. I couldn't believe it. I thought that it was a complete shock to me. You know, I laughed as soon as I saw it. I laughed because I couldn't believe it. Then the doctor, he comes in and he just goes, "Are you feeling all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I feel fine." And then I was standing up because, you know, my back, so sitting on the doctor's benches, it hurt. It kind of hurts. I got to give him a move. And I was standing up and he goes, "Are you out of breath? Are you out of breath?" I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm fine." And he was like, "Well, your heart rate was elevated a little bit, is elevated, and that is part of having atrial fib, and that's the thing that really concerns him the most." I mean, obviously the blood pressure concerns him too, but I mean, he was doing everything he could to try to control that. I mean, you know, honestly, it was all the time in my ballpark, and I was just like, and I just now recently started trying to, I guess, get better with it. So, you know, but so yeah, he's doing some he's checking on my heart rate. So, and that's what leads me in the hospital all the time is my heart rate. If my heart rate's too high, they stick me in the hospital. Man, I can't tell you the amount of times that I've been in that, went to go, just to go for a routine checkup, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Hey, you ready to go to the hospital?" I'm like, "No, I'm not ready to go to the hospital." It's like, "Too bad, sucker. You're going." It sucks real bad. I hate it. And I even told him that, I'm like, every time I come here, I'm scared to death you're going to put me in the hospital. Man. Ugh. I've been in the hospital too much for being so young. Ugh. And you know what? And the truth is, I really shouldn't complain, because I know there are people that are so much worse off than me. You know? I guess it's really all really relative. But that kind of brings me to something I wanted to talk about. So I watch a lot of workout videos and things, especially about form, because I have to be so careful with my back and whatnot. But last night, a video popped up about I guess he's a streamer, a game streamer. I'm not exactly sure. I've never seen him before. I mean, there's so many streamers. Unless you've followed these guys for ever in 3 days, you'll never know. But apparently, he's a big guy. He's a big guy like me. And he was talking about how he was having trouble, losing weight. And, well, he was also talking about how he felt ashamed when he couldn't do, like, okay, so he was trying to do a walk every day thing. I'm not exactly sure, but I know he was talking about he was charting the amount of steps that he took, and he was trying to get up to 4,000 steps a day. Anyways, every time that he fell short, he fell short of his goal for that day, it would frustrate him, and he would be disappointed in himself, and he couldn't do what he used to do. Because he talked about when he first started, he was like 400 pounds, and he was meeting his goal, and then for whatever reason he stopped. I don't know. he didn't really go into that. And now he's got like 70 more pounds on him, so he's like sitting at 470, and he can't make his goal, and he was getting really down on himself. And it brought something back up to me, especially when, in my first video, when I was talking about how I had to come to realize that I couldn't do these, I couldn't do this. I couldn't do things in my head. I think I can do things, in fact, everybody in their head, they're like, oh, that's so easy. I can just, I can just go ahead and run right out and do that. No problem. And when we can't do it, we get frustrated, and a lot of people give up. I have. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I mean, this is the first time I've been following through on a lot of stuff, and it feels good. It shows me that I can do it. But when it's a hell of a lot easier to destroy than it is to build. And that's really what we have to do, especially if you're trying to lose weight. You're building. You're building from the ground up, because you probably haven't been exercising. You probably haven't been eating right. You probably haven't been doing a whole bunch of stuff that you probably should have been doing from day one. Just like me, And you have to build, and you have to build slowly. Otherwise, it's just not going to stick. I mean, if I tried to go out and walk a mile, that wouldn't happen. I'd be lucky if I could make it a quarter mile with the way my back works and everything else. And that's sad to state. It really is, but it's reality. However, if I keep at it, eventually I'll be able to walk a mile. And that's kind of what I wanted to say today, is like, if you find that you can't do things like you normally could, or like you think you would be, or like you think you can in your head, I mean, you're going to get frustrated, just like I did this week. I was frustrated that I only lost 5 pounds, but I still lost. If you can only do 10 steps before you legitimately can't do any more. I mean, you have to be legitimate. You have to be honest with yourself. You can lie to everybody else, but you got to be honest with yourself. So, I mean, if you honestly can't, no matter what anybody else says, if you know in your heart of hearts that you can't do anymore, don't. Try the next day. Or be consistent for a week. That's what I mean. That's what I do. That's exactly how I build. I try to be consistent for a week, and then I add. And maybe it's a lot. Actually, this is the way I add. I'll just tell you, this is how I add stuff to exercises and to my working out and whatnot. I go until I can't take it. Until my back, as soon as my back starts twitching out, that's stopping point right there. And then I bring it up to that point every time, just to build the strength. Some days I can't. Some days I just can't make it to. I can't make it to that point, but I try. And something else that this guy brought up, his name's Jordy. He was feeling bad about, people that were talking about what they could do, and he was doing a lot less. You cannot judge yourself based on on what other people can and can't do. Just like I couldn't judge everything that I've gained health-wise just by that scale. My waist is down. The scale doesn't tell me that. My blood pressure was down to a normal range. That scale doesn't tell me that. So you can't. I mean, everything that I'm ever gonna say is pretty much gonna be cliche. It's things that you've heard a million times that you probably don't want to hear. Like it's easier to build than it is. It's easier to destroy than it is to build, or I don't know. I had a whole bunch earlier. I have conversations in my head. It would probably be wise for me to write some of this stuff down, but you know, the it's all true. It's like when they tell you about exercising, or when they talk about how to lose weight. It's exercising as diet. You don't want to hear that, but it's true. I mean, it's not some crash diet or something like that. It's changes. It's being active. It's not eating as much, or not eating, garbage. So, I mean, that's all I'm really going to say about that. I'll have videos dedicated to what I eat, to what I do, and, talking more in depth about all that stuff. But I don't know. I saw that guy, and he was really going through. I'll put a link to his channel in my, down below, so you can check it out. You can check out his channel. Like I said, I don't watch. I don't know. He streams. That's about all I can tell you. But he was genuinely upset, and I feel for him. I feel for anybody that that's upset when they're trying to lose weight like that, because you know what? It's hard. I know it. Anybody that's ever tried to, lose weight from being huge, yeah. And the truth is I don't know if some people with surgery, that's the option for them. I don't know. I can't attest to that, or even condone it or not condone it. I don't know. I know I have a friend. She got surgery, and at first it seemed like it was going to help her, but I've seen recent pictures of her, and she looks the same as she ever did, honestly. So I don't know. I don't know what helps. I guess it's really it's all dependent on the person, But I do know it's all really lifestyle changes, and I also know that, like with a drug addict, you have to want to do it. Nobody, no doctor, no family member, nobody can come along and say, "Hey, it's time. Get after it." It's you have to look somewhere in yourself and acknowledge that you're ready. You're tired of living on your knees. You're tired of not being able to do things. You're tired of being out of breath. You're tired of whatever. I finally got to the point where, and that's just where we're at now. So I can talk till I'm blue in the face about, yeah, you need to do this, yeah, you need to do that. There's no point. It's either you got to do it and you're ready to do it, or you're not. And that's how it was for me too. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I was going to say hopefully next week I'll do it. We'll start being consistent on Monday, but I can't tell you if that's going to be right or not. So I'm going to leave you with this. Just because you can't do it today doesn't mean you can't do it tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody.